All right, slide 10 now. So some social considerations. The greater UK and US political and military alliance is strong. That's something for Long Industries to be aware of when going into the UK for business. The UK's educational background is quite similar from the US as well. The school life expectancy is 18 years. The military enlistment ages are also fairly similar to the United States, being 16 to 33 years of age. And the reservists serve a minimum of 3 years in the UK. In the United States, it's 4 years. Moving on to slide 11, cultural considerations. So just some things for Long Industries to be aware of is 87% of the UK's population is white, 60% are Christian. Like we talked about before, there's 64 million total. There's 64 total population. And most importantly for Long Industries to implement its UAV with the comms unit inside is its customers. So for the military branches, this includes the Army, the Royal Navy, which also includes the Royal Marines and the Royal Air Force. Slide 12, we'll discuss the strategy of the product. As we just briefly overviewed before, Long Industries is going to implement using export as first to have the UAV and the comms unit inside sent over to the UK. This is because it'll provide the ability to realize locations and experience curve economies. And the beginning stages will have manufacturing done in the US. Contingent on its success rate in the UK, we might move on to a second strategy. Shipping relations with FedEx, MilAir, and Millstrip are going to be closely twined because hopefully this will ease some shipping costs when going over into the UK from the US. So that second piece of international business is hoping for Long Industries to incorporate wholly owned subsidiaries where it's going to own 100% of the stock and control 100% of the company, but it's going to put up offices and manufacturing plants in the UK. This is highly important information. We want to own 100% of the stock and 100% of the company because the UAV and the comms unit inside obtains highly important information, and we don't want that to leak out to other countries, competitors, or to even the general public. Finally, with wholly owned subsidiaries, there's high risks and high costs that are associated, but it's needed to implement into the UK for future business opportunities for the UK military. All right, going on to slide 14. So just a little bit of an explanation of what a UAV is, exactly what that entails, what I've been talking about for the past 15 minutes or so. So a UAV is an unmanned aerial vehicle. It's also known as a drone, also can be called a bird, a plane. There's several different terms to be known for a UAV. In this context, it's going to be an RQ-4, an EQ-4B, or an MQ-4C. Also, some street terminology is it's a Global Hawk. For this terminology here with what I'm presenting with the comms payload inside, it's going to be classified as an EQ-4B. I talked about how it was economical. Why it's economical is because it provides a flight time of 34 hours or more. It has a synthetic aperture radar for all-weather radar that is finer than traditional aircraft capabilities. Its flight altitude is at minimum 80,000 feet, and the fuel capacity is 17,000 pounds, which allow it to have that 34-hour flight mission capability. So with the comms unit inside, like we discussed, it's $220 million, fully mission capable. If the UK just decides to have the UAV or the Global Hawk, it's going to be $131 million with the bird just as it is. All right, slide 15 now. Some explanation of the comms unit or the payload. It's based off of the situation from the book and the movie Lone Survivor. I'm not too sure if anyone's ever seen that book or read that book or seen that movie, but there was an issue with communication because they were in a crevice of a mountain and it wouldn't allow for communication to get back to base. So this payload inside of the bird will allow full communication 24/7 no matter what. The payload also provides real-time information that flows across the battle space. It uses tactical data link and voice systems through data translation. It uses it in line of sight and beyond line of sight situations. It overcomes traditional blockades such as mountains, rough terrain, and distance, as I just tried to describe, and it increases situational awareness. All right, slide 16, how it's going to be produced and sold.